Have you ever heard that saying where your thoughts go, energy flows? Maybe it goes something like that. I'm going to show you right now that that's actually true, and I'm going to show you that that actually really, really matters because it can cause damage to your body. So if you have been having any kind of thoughts in your life that are negative thoughts, these could be thoughts of resistance, these could be critical or judgmental thoughts, anything along those lines. If you have anything like that, those thoughts can physically be felt inside of your body. I know this because when I work with my clients, that is how I have them follow these feelings back and resolve whatever it is that's there that began and created these feelings in the first place. So why is this so critically important? Because as you're doing this, as you're thinking these thoughts, because thoughts are energy, as you're thinking these things, when they pop up into your mind, maybe certain things pop up into your mind 20 times a day, then that would mean that 20 times a day, that thought is going to whatever part of your body that energy is stored in, and it's depleting that energy. So it's taking it out of that place inside of you and causing damage essentially to your body. So why does this matter? Now, long term, if you were to have some type of repetitive loop thinking, something like that, or you have this kind of running resentment or this something going on in your mind that is constantly there in the background, whether you're thinking about it all day long or not, if it's running there in the background, it is absorbing and taking away energy from whatever parts inside of you. So when I regress people back, I'm a hypnotist, so I do hypnosis regression. So that means I take you back to when your issues very first began. Now, not a lot of people know about this because not a lot of people do this, but I have found with my clients that it takes 1 to 3 sessions for them to just snap out of whatever funk that they have been in, and they might have been in this funk for years and years and years and years and years, maybe a lifetime. Now, the reason why it works so fast is because I'm taking those feelings that they have. So let's say that it's anxiety, or they're in a depressed mood or something like that. If you bring up that feeling, if you were to close your eyes and meditate on that feeling that you have that you don't like, like a craving or something like that, if you were to meditate on that feeling that you don't like, you could feel where you feel it in your body. Now, some people will say, oh, I feel it in my neck or my shoulders or my chest or my head or my shoulders or my arms. And some people will tell me 7 different body parts that they feel it in. It really just depends on the person, but typically you feel it in, you're definitely going to feel it in one part, but you might feel it in a few. So as you feel it in that place inside of you, and every single emotion that we have and every single belief that we have can physically be felt inside of our body, and in different places. Some, it seems like they're all in the same place. So as we feel these feelings and we follow them back, we heal what's there. So I don't know if you guys know anything about love and that the universe just consists of love. But I've seen it, I've felt it, I've experienced it, I know it, and I've seen that that was how Jesus created his miracles, was that he knew that this love existed in every single molecule that's around us, because what we are visually seeing with our eyes is the visible manifestation of our consciousness, of our thoughts energy. And we are bringing into our world through the things that we believe in, through our beliefs, the things that we then see around us. So when you change your beliefs, the world around you actually visibly changes. Now, it might not change like this directly overnight. It also might, and it also might change directly in front of your eyes, depending on how spiritually in tune you are. But sometimes these things take a couple months before we actually start to see it, once we start to vibrate in that higher frequency. So now, why is this so important that our thoughts are our energy? Because, like I said, so if you're focusing on, let's say, the depressed mood that you have inside your body, and you're feeling it in your elbows and your knees, or your feet, or wherever you're feeling it, eventually, because that feeling has been present, that emotion and that whatever underlying belief has been present for such a long time, you've then depleted the energy in those particular places inside of your body. So when this goes on long enough unresolved, then you're going to cause actual physical damage. So I said it, I wrote this course years ago, and I said that our body is like a blueprint for our mind, causing physical aches when emotional aches go on unattended. And I should have added beliefs in there, but they are cohesive. You know, beliefs make you feel a certain way. They evoke certain emotions, and emotions create certain beliefs. So they're really linked. They're essentially kind of the same thing. So it's so important, muy importante, to deal with these things. So this is dealing with the past. So when I'm working with people, that is what we're dealing with, because it's very difficult to just change your mind right now here in the present without having healed whatever the cause was in the past. So the way that I do this is through hypnosis regression. So in one session, I might take somebody back 7 times. I might take you back 3 times. I might take you back 20 times. It really depends on the person. Now, I would say most are not 20, but sometimes it's a lot. I will take every specific feeling, and I might not follow them all at the same time back. We might follow each one individually if these parts showed up at different places inside of you. And so as we do that, what we're following back is we're going back to different times in the past. We're going back to see different scenes, different incidences, things that happened. Now, very often, you might not remember these at all consciously, like that you don't right now even know or remember that those happened. Sometimes because we block them out, but very often because it was so early in childhood that you just don't remember things from when, you know, you were 1 or 2 or an infant. You just don't remember those things consciously. So as we follow these things back, you know, you might think or believe that this anxiety or this depressed mood that you have is you've always had it. And you might be right. You might consciously have always had it. But subconsciously and in your soul and in your spirit, you haven't. It has only become a part of you because something happened. Now, sometimes this could be something in infancy. You were left alone in your crib to cry, and you're crying and crying and crying and crying. Nobody's coming. So you feel like, I'm not safe, I'm not protected, I'm not nurtured, I'm not loved. That's the base of it all. And then it creates this fear inside of you that you won't be loved, you won't be protected, you won't be nurtured. And then you go through your life with this fear running in your energy system, depleting these places inside of your body. Very unhealthy. So sometimes people will regress back to the womb. They might go back in the womb. Maybe their mother had a lot of conflict when she was pregnant. Maybe she didn't want to be pregnant. Maybe she was really stressed out that she was pregnant. Maybe she was consuming things while she was pregnant that were damaging little you. Whatever it happens to be, these things can come from places long ago. They also very often come from things like sexual abuse. Now, sometimes people suspect that something happened to them when they were little. And they might think about it and they might whatever, but they don't really remember it. And so this creates a lot of confusion. They might feel like it happened, but they don't exactly remember. They might have thought that they made it up. There might be all kinds of things around something like that. That is so common. So if that's you, you're not alone in that. And even the fact that you're thinking it means yes, more than likely that did happen. Not for sure. I mean, I've never had it not pop up that was not the case, but of course anything is possible. So what's so important about this is when you have that underlying thing there, if you were abused, the thing that happens is we take on other people's energy. So, for example, in the case of sexual assault for a child, there's a lot of guilt and shame that comes up with something like that. Like you might feel like it was my fault, I should have spoke up, or there's just generally a feeling of shame and that comes around it. And just think about how that feels. And if you're carrying that around, which first of all, it's not your fault. You were like a tiny little child when that happened. This is on them. And it doesn't matter how old, like this was on them. But as you heal that and you let go of that guilt and that shame, because that guilt and that shame, first of all, it's sickening. It makes you sick, but it's really heavy and it depletes your energy. Now, I know I've said this before, but just imagine, you have this much energy in a day. Now, if you are spending, and you might not even know that you're doing it, but if you are spending, let's say, this much energy running programs from the past, which more than likely you're spending about this much energy running programs from the past, then you've only got, this much left to work with. So it, really takes away from your energy stores, and you wonder why you're not motivated. You wonder why you don't have creative ideas. You wonder why your life is stuck and why everything is the same all the time. It's because you only have enough energy to just survive and to keep doing what you're doing and to get through the day. And the same programs, the same things just keep running over and over and over. And they're not going to change until you take action and until you change them. So that's my message that I have here for today. It's really important to heal these things. I created this mental cleanse series. It's totally free. You can work through the different emotions. If there's requests for different ones that aren't on there, there is 36 videos on there, but if there's requests for different ones, I'm heading back up to Canada, and I'm going to be going and making some more videos for you guys. I know last time I created that whole series while I was up at my cabin up in Canada, and I'm going to go back there. So if there's any requests, post them down below, because I'm going right away. And I love you guys. Take care. And I really want you to know that the struggles that you have, you're not alone in. I have seen things over and over and over and over. And very often people will tell me, I've never told anyone this before. They've never told another soul. They haven't told their spouse. They haven't told their best friends. They haven't told anybody what happened to them, because they just feel so shamed about it, which, they shouldn't, but you can't help how you feel. So I want you to know that the people that are around you in your world, they've been through it. You feel like you're alone in these things, but you're not. They've been through it too. And it doesn't minimize what it is, that you've been through. What I'm saying is that you're not alone. It's not only you. And that when I say, if something like that happened to you when you were little, and you might feel guilt or shame about it, you probably might feel anger or other things about it too. But I'm saying that's the norm. That's how everybody feels about it. So to work through those things and to be able to let them go and to free up and clear up that energy that's there that you don't even realize is truly affecting you is so important, because it can just create so much more life-giving energy inside your body, and it gets you closer to the divine. Because when you have that guilt and that shame, that bad feeling, it's a push rather than a receive. And when you're open to receive, just so many good and wonderful things can come to you in your life. So I love y'all so much. Take care. And sayonara from Joplin, Missouri. And I will see you guys again in the next video. Take care.